Planning to spend more than $500,000 in federal funding to provide humanitarian aid for migrants seeking asylum.
The county is requesting additional funds in response to the county's transforming a part of the juvenile justice complex into a temporary migrant shelter. News 4 Tucson's Danelle Confair has the story. It's new at 5.
Since the beginning of this year, the Benedictine Monastery has housed more than 14,000 migrant asylum seekers. With the lease on that building up the end of this month, Catholic Community Services, the nonprofit that runs the shelter, is hoping the county can provide space at the juvenile justice complex that has several empty buildings available.
In that facility, we will provide all the utilities, we will provide all the maintenance, we will provide all the janitorial services, cleaning the facility at least twice a day. Potentially all the meals and laundry services.
The facility can hold up to 300 individuals along with 50 volunteers a day, but in order to keep it running for the next 5 months, the county is asking for $530,000 in Stone Garden funding.
So that's the number we've actually submitted to the Arizona Department of Homeland Security, and are hopeful that we will hear back from them soon about our grant request.
He says the county has also applied for other grants, one coming from the $4.2 billion in humanitarian aid that the House passed back in June. That way the county can prepare for 2020.
We don't know how long this is going to last and how long the community will have to provide humanitarian aid for a large number of asylum seekers.
According to Huckleberry, the cost can also be broken down by each migrant they provide shelter for, which would amount to $95 a day, along with $45 a day for food and incidentals.
The problem is that if there weren't shelter services available, typically what would happen, and what has happened previously has caused some difficulty, is releases. Simply the asylum seekers are taken to a bus station and released, and they have no shelter. They're essentially homeless. They have no services, they have no food, no water, and becomes then another cost burden on the community, mostly in responding to emergency calls.
The Pima County Board of Supervisors will hold a special board meeting on Monday, July 22nd, to vote on leasing the juvenile facility to Catholic Community Services for $100 a year. Reporting in studio, Danelle Confair, News 4 Tucson.
A new Trump administration rule goes into effect today that will dramatically limit the ability of Central American migrants to claim asylum. This new regulation, issued by the Departments of Justice and Homeland Security, will prohibit migrants from seeking asylum here in the United States if they have lived in or traveled through a third country on their way to the United States. This effectively limits asylum protections to Mexicans and those who travel to the U.S. by sea. The rule is expected to be challenged in court. Matt?
Storm alert is moderate due